everyone. This weekend I am returning to the 90s by way of Tori Amos, and this is not my first time hearing her work, but I'm going to spend a bit more time with her this weekend. Today's song is Silent All These Years from 1992, and I understand that the lyrics were inspired by Amos reading Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid story to her young niece. And then this song was used to promote awareness of the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. So some classical inspiration, some awareness, social awareness of important issues, and let's see what it sounds like.
Excuse me, but can I be you for a while? My dog won't bite if you sit real still. I got the Antichrist in the kitchen yelling at me again. Yeah, I can hear the safety can by the garbage truck. I got something to say, you know, but nothing comes. Yes, I know what you think of me. You never shut up. Yeah, I can hear that. What if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his without names?
It's so interesting because with the piano introduction, I immediately started thinking, you know, a sort of liquidy, watery, fluid, flowing quality. And then here we are. What if I'm a mermaid? Which kind of fits, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can hear that. What if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said, sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been here, silent all these years. So you found...
So this piano. Okay, so there are several things going on in this song that catch my attention, and one of which is the little piano motifs, which I can't say that I link them directly to some classical piece or other, but somehow they make me think that they are kind of inspired by perhaps even pseudo-quoting some famous classical piano works. There are little shades of stylistic elements, and even the motion, the fluidity of it. It's more than just easy listening piano accompaniment. There are moments, and why do I bring that up? Because I can't say, oh, it's quoting this song or that classical work. But it feels very much like it's linking itself to some classical material. And I bring that up because of what I learned before I listened to this. That the lyrics were inspired by a classical story, a classic Hans Christian Andersen's children's story, The Mermaid. So it feels like, even musically, it is somehow anchoring itself or finding deep inspiration in classical artistic elements, whether it's musical or lyrical or storyline, whatever. But all of these, even the music, you see me sometimes, oh, wait, what? I almost expect to hear something familiar coming out. Oh, but no, it's just the piano accompaniment there. And it happened at the very beginning, at the intro, and now this little bit of piano interlude right here. So that's what I find, that's what's catching me with this piano. Not that it's any grand, virtuosic, or highly developed. No, but it's the way it somehow conjures and and suggests and hints at something that I feel like, oh, I should almost be able to grasp that and take hold of it as something else. But no, it has its own life. And that is what the piano is doing to me here. Now, a couple other things standing out to me as well. I said that it was a rippling, watery, fluid quality, mainly in the piano, as well as the instrumental accompaniment choices, the strings, the little chimes and all of that. But then there's the way she's singing it, which is very intense in the delivery, the energy of it. It's not passive. It's not just flowing with the current. There is a drive and almost a sense of urgency in the way she's singing it. And then, of course, these lyrics also have some noticeable, shall I say, depth, noticeable material to work through as well. So those are the three main things that have jumped out to me so far. Let's keep listening.
On it here, but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said, sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been
the intensity of the way she sings.
Silent all these years.
Ah, yes, that's the other thing I wanted to say. That I wanted to say is we've had this intense, rapid fire, focused kind of everything coming out in this focused stream of voice and musical energy. And then we get to this line. I said sometimes, because sometimes. I said sometimes. Again, there's that sort of intensity both in the vocal delivery and that is in the lyrics themselves. Because sometimes, I said sometimes, I hear my voice, and it's been, and then we hear a great gap. Now, I've mentioned the way, actually more than mentioned, I've talked about it several times, the way it seems like the 90s and moving into the 2000s and the 21st century, popular music has developed this habit of interrupting the flow of the text at random points for a gap that might mean something, or it might just be a habit or you understand what I'm saying, right? And sometimes I've kind of complained about it. Sometimes I've said, is there something really worthwhile in this? Been curious about it. Here, in this moment, it actually does serve a very significant role in the understanding and the communicating of what these lyrics are saying. And it's a way of the music and the performance stepping in and saying, here's what I want you to understand. Because sometimes, I said sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been all this intensity, and then suddenly a grand gap. It's been what? We wait. We want to hear. What has it been? And then this long melismatic here. Silent all these years. But the idea that it's been here, this is brought out in the music itself, in the way she sings it. All this emotional intensity, this compressed, I could even say suppressed emotions, which are just suddenly pouring out one after the next, the things that I feel like I need to say, and on, and then, and sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been here, silent all these years. Silent all these years is sung in a special way too. Notice that.
but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said, sometimes I hear my voice, and it's been here.
Even the way she takes a breath before she says that.
Silent all these years.
There's that piano thing. We're linking
So
this
you
to.
found a girl who thinks really deep thoughts. What's so amazing about really deep thoughts? Boy, you best pray that I bleed real soon. How's that thought for you? My screen got lost in a paper cup. Think there's a heaven where some screams have gone. I got $25 and a cracker. Do you think it's enough to get us there? 'Cause what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said sometimes
building,
I hear my voice, and it's been here. Silent all these years go by, will I still be waiting for somebody else?
That's a nice twist too there. And it's been here all these, like we first heard it, silent all these, and then we're waiting for years. But rather than saying silent all these years and then a break, it's silent all these, and then we hear years. But instead of hearing years as the end of a refrain, as the end of a sentence, and it's been here silent all these years, and then a break, and the new section of music, the new section of lyrics comes in. This, and it's been here silent all these years go by, will I still be waiting for somebody else? You hear the word years, but it is actually the beginning of a new thought, a new section, a new portion of both the music and the lyrics. It's one of those moments where, in a way, lyrically, it's kind of like what I've said about sometimes the way music has this special ability to have a phrase. Let's just create one here. We can go like this. And this note here is the end of the phrase, right? And then we are going to have another something begin. But what if we have a phrase beginning here? Okay, that's our second phrase. Now, what if I join these two together? And that note serves as both the beginning and the end. This is similar. And it's been here, silent all these years go by. Will I still be waiting? It's the closest thing we could come to, I think, lyrically. Well, I shouldn't say closest, but it is incredibly close to what happens musically that I sometimes point out. Oh, that's one of those special little musical techniques that happens where the same note, the same pitch, the exact same moment serves as both the end and the beginning. Same here. Silent all these years go by. Well, maybe if the music had made it flow together, silent all these years go by, then we might say that it's an exact use of it. But there's a little gap, at least in the way it's sung. But it's a nice little I hate to say trick, because to say trick kind of diminishes the significance of it. But it is a technique, and it's a special little technique, and you can't overuse it, but when you use it well, it's both incredibly enjoyable, interesting, and effective.
I said sometimes I hear my voice and it's been here silent all these years go by. Will I still be waiting for somebody else to understand? Years go by from stripped to my beauty and the orange clouds raining in my head. Years go by, will I choke on my tears till finally there is nothing left? One more casualty, you know we're too easy. But I love the way.
And what happened is that this became more than just a new thought. It became a whole new section musically, texture-wise. Suddenly we had a whole chorus of voices. We had the primary voice singing higher at a higher pitch, sort of as a harmony, a kind of descant-like harmonizing or octave higher tenor harmonizing style. All of that came in, and lyrically, content-wise, it was its own section too. Because up until this point, it's been the lyrical content has been saying, all these things, I have something to say, so on and so forth. I've been saved by the garbage truck. And then the chorus, what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? And that's an important little chorus. And then, so you think you found a girl, my scream got lost in a paper cup, and then back to what if I'm a mermaid? Now we come to something which is more, shall I say, it's an important question. Maybe I could say that it's the questioning part and the desperate part of this, at least to date. I haven't gone through the whole thing yet. But years go by. Will I still be waiting for somebody else to understand? Years go by. If I'm stripped of my beauty and the orange clouds raining in my head, years go by. Will I choke on my tears till finally there's nothing left? One more casualty. You know we're too easy. So that whole years go, it's the questioning. It's the asking the burning question, the urgent questions inside. Whereas before, it wasn't really questioning. It was more telling and talking about. Suddenly, here is the question. Here's how I feel inside. It's a look inside, whereas we were kind of seeing more the outer person before. So content-wise, it is also an important major shift in the lyrics, which the music reflects and the music tells us is happening. And all that shift happens on that wonderful little pivotal moment. Silent all these years. Silent all these years go by. Will I still be waiting? You see, it's such a special moment in the music. And this is my first time hearing the piece. I've never heard it before. I've never even read through these lyrics before. So this is all just what the music is telling me this first time through. That means if there's this much to discover the first time through, there's a whole lot more to explore and enjoy in this piece of music and in the lyrics as well. But these are just the things that are jumping out. Let's back up just a little bit and hear that again.
Sometimes I hear my voice and it's been here Years go by, will I still be waiting for somebody else to understand?
This is the question. Ask the questions. Notice that the voices are higher. Just like when we ask questions, we usually have our voice pitched higher. Or at least traveling up.
One more casualty, you know we're too easy. Well, I love the way we communicate.
Now we're back to
Your
this
eyes focus
descending
on
line.
my funny lip shape. Let's hear what you think of me now, but baby, don't look up. The sky is falling. Your mother shows up in a nasty dress, and it's your turn now to stand where I stand. Everybody looking at you. You take hold of my hand. Yeah, I can hear them, but what if I'm a mermaid?
I like the way this time around when she comes to, but what if there's an extra amount of, I don't know, mystery, but what if?
And you take hold of my hand. Yeah, I can hear them, but what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of yours with her name still on it? Hey, but I don't care, 'cause sometimes I said sometimes I hear my voice.
A special little twist here. First refrain. But what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of his with her name still on it? Now we come to the end. But what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of yours with her name still on it? Oh, that adds some complication, doesn't it?
You take hold of my hand. Yeah, I can hear them. But what if I'm a mermaid in these jeans of yours with her name still on it?
And back to the music. Listen to how the instruments wonderfully carry
I hear my voice, I hear my voice, I hear my
the momentum.
voice, and it's been here, silent all these years. I've been here, silent all these years, silent all these, silent all these years.
You know, it's interesting thinking about, again, focusing on the musical side of this, listening to this music. There are moments in this song, like, for example, the ending there, where it feels like, no, I won't say it feels like, I hear all the elements of what could so easily be a formulaic, churned out, commercial style, modern, easy listening piano piece with some synthesized strings in the background. There is so much of what could be that, but there's something about the way that this piece is put together. I think it's the incredibly well-formed musical structure and design, but the way in which it serves the text, it serves the message of the piece, meaning it's not trying to be gimmicky and do fancy little tricks to paint some line or other, because this is not the type of lyrical content that really lends itself well to that kind of musical treatment. Sometimes that's brilliant. For example, since I've been listening to so much Beatles, I'm just going to say there are moments in the Beatles music where I say, what incredible text painting, right? Where the music paints or illustrates or acts out what is happening in the lyrics themselves. This is not the case here. But even though it's this sweet, gentle, rippling, flowing piano, the synth-type strings, the little bit of glockenspiel, chimes, whatever is happening in the background, all this nice stuff, Tori's very nicely well-handled voice, nothing really stands out as saying, oh, it's a little rough there, a little ragged there. It's very calm and easy and nice and pleasant to listen to. It is. And yet I cannot say that this strikes me at all as commercial in the negative sense of the word. Because everything that the music is doing is helping the text, the lyrics, get up and walk. It basically enables and enhances and colors and brings to our attention important things within the text itself. And so much so that, I mean, as I'm scanning through these lyrics now, they're kind of long and they take some little twists and turns, which if I were going to give a really in-depth lyrical analysis, it would take me a bit of study and time, right? This is not the sort of lyrical writing where it's like, oh yeah, cute pop song, you know, nice, easy message. No, there's some complexity here. And so not just for the sake of being complex, but some depth to the meaning, some things to explore content-wise. And the music, in spite of it being very simple and light, it serves these lyrics so incredibly well. It helps the voice. It gives something on which the voice, over which the voice can build that wonderful, intense urgency as she's singing through each line. It works so incredibly well when it gives that very modern break, gap, and it's been here. That's such a well-chosen place to use that. So what I'm saying is, this is not written in a way that is just because it's the style of the decade. This is written using the style of the decade in a way that is highly effective and incredibly well applied to create a meaningful, worthwhile piece of musical listening material. And not only musical, but lyrical as well. So, thinking back to the other Tori Amos stuff I've listened to, somehow I feel like this is maybe my favorite so far, just because I feel like it is so meaty. There is so much to dig into, even though the music is not that terribly complex. But it's just so incredibly well designed to serve its role, and it works so well. This is a piece that I feel like I will find myself returning to explore over time and spend time getting to know and think about. And it's one of those lovely discoveries of something so incredibly pleasant and easy. You could just have this playing in the background and everyone would say, oh, nice piece of music. It's pleasant. It gives a nice atmosphere. But when you sit down and listen to it, there is so much more than just nice atmosphere. And so, well, that's Silent All These Years, Tori Amos. This is the first song of the Tori Amos weekend. Now I'm very curious to see what do I get to hear tomorrow. I'll see you then.